Welcome to our first English Mindset Wednesday. We just said that we're super nervous because we normally do this in German, but we thought since this is our 1 year anniversary of Mindset Wednesday, we're gonna switch it over. Yes, we're gonna switch it over to English in order to let other people listen too, like English speaking people or people from all around the world who want to listen. Yeah, so this is our 51st Mindset Wednesday. We did 51 Mindset Wednesdays. So 1 year anniversary, and I have a drink for that. Do you have one? Okay. Yeah. So as a quick intro, we normally have a topic that I prepare. Sometimes Emmy prepares a topic as well. And then we start with gratitude and affirmation, and then we go straight into the topic. So gratitude and affirmation, should I explain it?
Yeah.
Okay, so gratitude is just something that you're thankful for in your life. That could be your health, that could be your friends, that could be your partner, your family, food, whatever comes up. And we always started with I am grateful for, and then enter whatever we're grateful for. Always one thing. An affirmation is just a positive word to affirm for yourself. So we started with I am, and then add anything positive. As an example, I am grateful for new experiences. That's mine for today. And my affirmation is I am ready for new experiences. But it could also be I am beautiful, I am smart, I am happy, or whatever. Emmy, your turn.
I'm grateful for our 1 year anniversary. And I am brave.
That's nice. I like that one. And then we go straight into the topic, which the topic today is do your best and your best will always be enough. And I heard that on a show on Netflix a few days ago, where a dad was telling his daughter, it was a reality show, and he was telling her that sentence in order to help her push through the whole show. And I thought it was so beautiful that I thought, well, let's make a Mindset Wednesday out of it. Our topic today is do your best and your best will always be enough. And let's start. So we all like to think that we could be doing more or that we could be doing something better. That is quite normal because we always like to think or look at other people and think about what they're doing and thinking that we're not doing enough, that we could be doing more, and then just pull ourselves down that way. We give ourselves a hard time because we think that no matter what we do, it won't be enough. And that also comes back to us thinking that we won't be enough. So it's all connected, and we're going to dive into that a little more in a second. And that, of course, is exhausting. It's a waste of energy and only pulls us down. It doesn't take us anywhere. It's a thing that we're constantly thinking about it and just wasting energy and not getting anything out of it. We just end up putting so much intention and time into why things won't be good instead of focusing on the good, which is also why it's pulling us down because we're wasting all that thought and intention into it. And then we need to start focusing more on those things that light us up, things that help us feel nurtured and supported, things that make us feel connected and inspired, peaceful, and positive. So instead of wasting all those thoughts into what we should do, what we need to do more, that nothing is enough, we should focus on the things that are actually good, the things that are helping us, the things that are nurturing us, the things that are positive. Because that is taking us at least somewhere instead of being stuck in the negative thoughts. And we all have that inner voice that tries to convince us that no matter what we do, it will never be enough. we need to realize that this inner voice is not real. It is the fear, ego, panic, and pain. It is the part of us that is craving to be seen, to be recognized, and to be validated. And I have an example there from my own life. I was always called lazy by my family when I was a kid and a teenager. And if you always get told that you're lazy, at some point you believe it. And when you believe it, you're lazy. You're not doing anything. Because for me, at some point, even if I did stuff, in the back of my head, I was thinking they would still call me lazy. So what was the point of doing anything if they call me lazy in the end anyway? And I think that is a good example, because I eventually stopped caring, and I didn't do anything because I thought people won't appreciate it. So I might as well don't do anything. And now as an adult, I do a lot to overcompensate in certain fields. And that example shows us that pain from being called lazy turned into the part of me that wanted to be seen, validated, and recognized. So now, as I mentioned, I do more to not be called lazy, to get those feelings of being recognized, being validated, and being seen. And I feel like we all have those examples where we were called something, or where we just thought this is an area where I'm not enough, where I'm not doing my best, whatever. And then we compensated growing up in order to receive the validation, to be recognized, and to be seen. Okay. Let me see. So yeah, that is my inner voice telling me that if I don't do enough, people will think I'm lazy. So in order to avoid that, I'm doing a lot to feel seen, recognized, and validated. Does that make sense? Okay, good. It's funny because normally I translate the English stuff into German and then present it in German, which that is a mess, but to do it in English now just feels funny with my head somehow. But yeah, we all want to feel those three things for various reasons. We all have certain experiences that brought us to the point of craving them, of feeling no matter what we do is not good enough. But most of us try to compensate for those feelings through being harsh to ourselves, by telling ourselves that we are not good enough, that we need to do more, that we will never reach our goals. So instead of looking at, for example, the being lazy part and like seeing that it's just the way I was raised, just the thought that created, or the pattern that was created throughout the years, instead of seeing that as what it is, we're creating this big thing around it and talking negatively. And that just creates a ripple effect of all kinds of negative habits. But all of that doesn't help us. It maybe helps us to push and motivate us for some time, but in the long run, it will just deplete us from all our energy. So having like that little voice that tells you you're not doing enough, you should do more, and all this craziness can push you for a little bit. But at some point you will be so exhausted, so depressed, so tired, and just so negative from this voice that's telling you all the negative things, that at some point you just can't listen anymore and you just can't do anymore. That is why we need to learn to use our positive voice. I'm not saying ignore the negative voice, but listen to the negative voice. And then you can decide if you want to accept it as the truth, or if you want to push it aside and find your own truth. Okay. This way of handling this voice doesn't draw us closer to what we want to create in our life, and it doesn't draw what we want to create in our life closer to us. So it doesn't help us even if you look from both sides. We need to learn to accept that voice as a sign of fear, ego, and panic. So that's where that voice is coming from. Fear, ego, and panic. And in order to avoid that fear, ego, and panic, we're creating all these things to feel validated, recognized, and seen. So those are like the main words that we're getting out of this. So instead of blindly listening to it and running with it, we can hear what it has to say and thank that voice for the information that it's trying to share with us and move on with our days, do what feels good to us in the moment. So as I said, don't just listen to it and accept it as your truth. Listen to it and then decide, is that what I want to accept as the truth? Or do I want to accept a different truth? Do I want to create my own truth around it? So forget about those possible fears that are so far out that they don't even seem realistic yet. And most of the time, when something's coming up that scares us, we create like all these scenarios in our heads that are technically impossible to even happen. But in our mind, because we created it, it seems possible and it's holding us back. So instead of creating all these scenarios, making us even more fearful, making us even more scared, we need to learn to look at what is realistic, what can actually happen. And am I just pulling myself down right now? Okay. So forget about possibilities of things that could go wrong. Forget about giving yourself a hard time for trying your absolute best, and talk to yourself like you would talk to others. Would you be mad at a friend that is trying their best and force them to push harder, even though you can clearly see that they have reached a limit? And the answer to it is probably no, because when you can see that a friend reached their limits, when a friend can't do more, you're gonna stand on their side and probably offer you help, but you won't push them to do more or force them to do more. Let me see. Okay. We all try our best at all times, and if you can believe that others are doing their best, why can't you believe that you are doing your best? That is the next question. Because, I mean, if we look at people around us again, we often think like, oh, they're doing so much, oh, they're doing so well, and like all these people, especially on social media, having like this perfect thing. Like look at Beyonce, for example. She has 24 hours just like we do, but she probably uses those 24 hours to do 1,000 of things. And then we look at our life and we think like, oh, I can't even read 5 pages a day. So
no. It's not me.
No, but what I'm trying to say is just like we can't really compare with others, but also if we see that others can do it, so can you. Yeah. So also remember it all starts with your thoughts, and then we have the method of TEAR, and TEAR stands for thoughts create emotions, emotions create actions, and actions create results. So if we want to change anything in our life, we start at our thoughts. So if that voice is negative all the time and just pulls us down all the time, our emotions are gonna be sad, and we're gonna be mad, we're gonna be upset, depressed, whatever. Our actions are gonna be somewhat similar to our emotions and our thoughts, and then the results in the end will not be good. But if we talk to ourselves nicely, if our thoughts are nicely, our emotions are probably gonna be more uplifted, we're gonna feel more happy, more excited, and more positive in general. So our actions are gonna get better, and therefore our results are gonna be good.
Hmm.
So I think it's always good to remember the TEAR method and remember that it all starts at the thoughts. So yeah, so look at your thoughts and start talking back with affirmative words. So when your inner voice is saying you're not good enough, you're gonna say, I am good enough. When your inner voice is saying you can't do this, I'm gonna say, I can do this. So just stop that little voice and turn it into something positive. And most of the time in the beginning, it will feel unauthentic. You won't believe that voice. But the more you say it, the more you will get comfortable with the idea of you actually being that. And then you start believing that you are. And then a few good words that I found for that were, let me see. You can say, yes, yes, I am trying my best. My best is good enough. If I could be doing more, I would be. If I could be doing something differently, I'm open to trying it out. But if I won't undervalue what I already have or who I already am. And I think that's a nice little mantra to say to yourself. Because it's positive, it's affirming, you're just making yourself feel good when you say that. So start believing it, start trusting yourself. And then another last thing to consider is that my best is not your best. And your best will never be my best. And that brings us back to the point of bio and individuality. We're just all different. No one's the same. So if I run for 5 minutes and that's all I can do, then that's my best. But Emmy might run for 10 minutes and 10 minutes is her best. But just because she runs 10 minutes and I run 5, doesn't mean my 5 are not good enough. They're good enough for me, but they're not good for you. And I think that's always important to remember when you look at other people that maybe put more work into it, that maybe just worked harder, worked on it longer, that your best is not comparable to their best.
Yeah.
And then a quote from Don Miguel Ruiz was, your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. And under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So what he is saying is that throughout our lifetime, our best will always change. Best example for that, going back to fitness, a year ago, I did 45 minutes of workouts where I did like all kinds of stuff, and that was my best at that point. Today, right now, because of how crazy this last year was, I'm happy if I just go for a walk. That is my best right now. So even though 45 minutes of hard workout and now it's a walk, that doesn't mean I have to beat myself down. We're all going baby steps in the right direction, and that's all that matters. And then, yeah, he's saying if you do, as long as you do your best, self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret won't be a thing. Yeah. And I think it's beautiful to think that we have so much space to grow throughout our lives, and that we just need to choose to grow. We just need to be doing something towards the right direction. And our best will never be the same. So be open for growth, be nice to yourself, and take baby steps into the right direction, and then you're good. And remember, you are doing your best, and your best will be enough always and forever.
Yeah.
I think that's such an important message. And that was it. That was our first Mindset Wednesday. we'll see how it's gonna go throughout the next few weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah, we always have a Mindset Wednesday every Wednesday. This is our 51st Wednesday, our 1 year anniversary. We missed one
Yeah.
Mindset Wednesday in the last year due to COVID, but that's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it was one Mindset Wednesday. So we'll see throughout the next year what happens there. And I'll see you guys next week. And I wish you and everyone who's watching a beautiful night or day. And yeah,
You too.
thank you. Ciao.
Tschüss.